How's everything going today, guys? My name is Copycat, and recently I've made a few videos showing you all some trick jumps in Super Mario Odyssey, which eventually got me invited into the community's Discord. Now here I learned about jumps that were considered significantly harder than the rest. Little did I know that there was actually another Discord channel with even harder jumps that will absolutely blow your mind, which leads me to this video about every elite level trick jump in Super Mario Odyssey. Just to note that there might be certain techniques that I used in a previous video, so if you haven't yet, go back to those videos and check them out. We're gonna start this video off in the Mushroom Kingdom, which is home to two elite level trick jumps. The first is called Fungus Rock and has you traversing from this rock towards the giant mushroom. The best way to start this one is by triple jumping, and Awesome Aggron uses the interesting strategy of up throwing Cappy to suspend Mario in mid-air for an extra second. Not sure if this works better, but it definitely adds some style points. The second Mushroom Kingdom jump is a follow-up to Eel Blocks, which starts a lot farther away than the original. To do this, you'll have to up-down vault, and at the end you might fall off the edge, but that's okay. The Cap Kingdom has 5 elite level jumps, which starts with one called Top Hat. This takes place between an edge of the kingdom towards the floating Top Hat airship. To start, you'll have to triple jump, but be careful of the fence and Paragoomba, which can get in your way. The next jump is called Truest Left Side, which has you traveling across the bridge gap, having you land on the gate on the other side. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty sick when Cappy returns to Mario. There's also a similar jump called Vault True Left, which of course uses an up-down vault instead of a triple jump. Pond Crossing is another jump that's extremely difficult and is located in a sub-area. Just one note here that wall jumping isn't allowed, so avoiding those ice pillars but still maintaining speed and direction is key. The final and hardest jump in the Cap Kingdom is called Shady Lamp, which uses a technique called a cap triple jump that allows for a faster hat return spin, meaning you won't lose as much momentum when transitioning into other moves. This allows you to get higher and farther a lot faster. The Cascade Kingdom is home to 5 elite level trick jumps, starting with one called Fossil Fly, which takes place between a rock pillar and one of the small floating platforms. Here, a cap triple jump is used to ensure you don't lose any height when you're inputting other moves. The next trick jump is Fossil Ridge that has you traversing a huge gap. A cap triple jump is also used here, along with what I can only assume is immense skill. The Wall Weaver trick jump uses an up-down vault, which is used in instances where you don't have much room. If you do it just right, then you'll barely make it. The Grassy Gap also uses an up-down vault, and what really makes this jump difficult is the small hill you have to perfectly maneuver around. The last trick jump in the Cascade Kingdom is called Rocky Ricochet, which has you go towards a rock from on top a small cliff. The Sand Kingdom is home to a large number of elite trick jumps, starting with one called Poison Lake. This is an extremely precise jump where you have to travel across a portion of the lake. A capped triple jump is used here, and when you land it might appear like you're going into the poison, but you're actually not. Next up is bullet blocks, where you have to jump from this breakable block towards the bullet bill launcher. This jump is really difficult as you have to get really close to the platform. There's also a trick jump called Archway Reach, where you have to do a very precise vault from an ice ball towards the steps near the archway. Bridge Bypass is another trick jump that starts on one side of this bridge, having you travel to the other side without touching it. You'll have to use a vault here along with some perfectly timed inputting. Pillar Pearl has you traveling from a platform towards a pillar in the middle of the kingdom. To start, you'll have to up-down vault, as you don't have much room, and if you do it right, you'll just barely make it. The true danger sign jump takes place on the Poison Lake near the Jaxi Ruins. The only way you'll make it is by doing a cap triple jump. There's also a trick jump called Sandy Skip that will have you jumping from a wall onto the structure in the middle of the kingdom. Once again, because you don't have much room, you'll have to up-down vault to start. Taking place near the same area, Sinking Steps also uses an up-down vault. The truest Scarecrowless jump is a more difficult version of a previous one in this sub-area. Here you have to cap triple jump from much farther away towards the Scarecrow area. Another harder updated jump challenge is called True Sandstone, and you start from this lower area and travel upwards quickly to the higher platform's ledge. Just a note here, wall jumping is not allowed. The final elite level trick jump in the Sand Kingdom is called Runes Crossing, and has you jumping extremely far towards the higher up platform. I think you're gonna have to get a bit lucky to perform this one right. There are 4 elite trick jumps in the Lake Kingdom, starting with one called the Lake Leap. This takes place in the Zipper sub area, and you'll have to jump from this platform towards the first step of the staircase. There's also a very similar one in the same sub-area called True Lake Leap, but starts from a platform that's slightly farther away. There's nothing crazy about these 2 jumps other than the extreme precision. In a different sub-area, there's a trick jump called Red Blocks, where you have to travel from one block to another. What makes this one really difficult is that you can't wall jump. The final Lake Kingdom jump is called True Fishy Donut, where you have to do a triple jump from this island towards the small cliff. Once again, what makes this insane is that you can't wall jump. Next up is the Wooded Kingdom, starting with a trick jump called True Pole Cancel Vector, which is a much more difficult version of her previous jump. Here you'll have to roll cancel vector off the platform instead of the ledge, which is slightly farther away. Sherm's Edge is a jump where you have to go incredibly far up on a higher ledge. Just know for this jump you can't jump off the pole, and you are allowed to wall jump. A really hard elite jump in this kingdom is called Rampless, where you have to jump from a rail upwards to the platform. This one is extremely hard and requires a well-timed cap triple jump. Garden Heights is a very difficult triple jump up towards the central area of the kingdom. Just to note, you can wall jump, and when you finish, you'll land on a question mark block. The last Wooded Kingdom jump is called True Goomba Garden, which is a much harder version of a previous jump. Here you'll have to triple jump from slightly farther away, which is much more difficult. In the Cloud Kingdom, there's only one elite level trick jump called True Cloud Dram. This is an updated version of Cloud Dram where instead of vaulting from on top of the Odyssey, you vault from its headlight. Even though the Lost Kingdom is very small, there's actually 8 elite level trick jumps. The first one is called Cage Cross and has you traversing from this breakable block pillar towards the cage. For this one, you have to use some sort of vault, as triple jumping is way too easy and isn't allowed. In the Makes Bacho trick jump, you have to travel from this tree towards the platform for where the Wiggler is. You'll have to angle your up-down vault perfectly so you don't waste any momentum. There's also a jump called True Lost Gap, where you have to jump from one platform to the other while going around a tree. That tree does make things a little more difficult for you, so being able to vault around it without hitting it is key. The Blockbuster jump is extremely difficult as you have to get from the question mark blocks towards the rotating platform. Here there is some luck and timing involved, as you need to complete the jump when the platform is closest to you. There's also an elite jump called Lethal Launch, where you have to travel from a platform towards a tree. If you haven't noticed yet, a lot of these jumps require replicating the same mechanics. There's a jump called Tree Hopper that has you doing exactly that from one to another. The timing for this one is really annoying to get right. The second last jump in this kingdom is called Toxic Incision, which has you traveling across a gap in the poison. If you do it right, then you'll just make it. The final trick jump in the Lost Kingdom is called Poison Pigs, where you need to somehow get yourself towards the Wiggler area. Cap triple jumping is really the only way you can make it across this vast distance. The Metro Kingdom is home to many great elite level trick jumps, starting with one called City Reacher. This has you jumping from the Odyssey area across the gap towards the park. To do this, you'll have to triple jump and use your hat return spins effectively. The next jump is called Construction Cut, which has you jumping from girder to girder near the construction area. The angle you take to make the last dive is very important, and just a note, you aren't allowed to wall jump at all. On one of the skyscraper roofs, there's a trick jump called Sky Hedge. Here you use a cap triple jump to travel across the building's hedge to hedge. Pretty insane, huh? True Metro Mart is a weird jump that has you traversing from a girder in the starting area back towards the Odyssey. It's important to return spin just before you're about to hit the ground so you have enough distance to make it. The second last jump in this kingdom is called Broad Jump, making you cap triple from a bench to the rail much further away. Just wow. The final jump in the Metro Kingdom is called Vault Skyscraper Sail, which is just crazy. For some reason, it really looks like this jump shouldn't be possible. The Snow Kingdom is another smaller one with many elite level trick jumps. The first one of these is called Backpipe, which is a much harder variant of a master level jump called Snowdram. Here you have to cap triple jump off the Odyssey's backpipe, which will give you enough height and speed to make it to the painting skip area. The Trickjump Poison Pass is located in a sub-area and has you crossing a poison lake. The next jump is called Snowy Leap, which has you traveling across the freezing lake. You'll have to use an up-down vault here so you have enough distance to make it. In the boss fight arena area, there's a jump called Frozen Lake Crosser, where you have to go from one side to the other. You'll have to gain max distance on this one, and it's almost impossible. The final jump in the Snow Kingdom is called Necrosis, and takes place in a sub-area. This one is considered one of the hardest vaults in the entire game. The Seaside Kingdom is home to 6 elite level trick jumps, starting with one called True Treasure Hunter. This is a harder version of a master level jump where you have to get to the grassy ledge this time instead of the question mark blocks. There's also a jump called Sea Swoop that uses a really unique technique. As you can see, instead of an up-down vault, you have to leave Cappy in place by positioning him over the pillar, then vaulting. Hot Spring Hop has you traversing across a small hot spring towards a grassy ledge. This uses an up-down vault and requires you to get really close to the water. The trick jump called Sea Scope has you jumping from a rock onto the binoculars. Once again, this is a really difficult vault, and you'll need to properly position Cappy. The Ravenous Rock jump takes place between this rock and the grassy platform. I don't know if it's just me, but it kinda looks like Mario just touched the water. The final elite trick jump in the Seaside Kingdom is Seaweed Surpass, where you have to get from the barrel towards the rocks. To do this, you'll have to cap triple pretty far across the water. The Luncheon Kingdom is home to a dozen elite level trick jumps that are all extremely hard. The first is called Luncheon Legend, which has you traversing across the lava from platform to platform. You'll have to up-down vault and angle Mario properly to make it. The Cheese Vault Assault Jump has you traveling up a cliff. Here your cap return throws have to be very fast and well timed, plus you can also use the wall to get up top. Headlight hop is a precise vault from the highest cheese block to the headlight of the Odyssey. An up-down vault is needed here along with some luck. The Toxic Torch 2.0 jump takes place between the unlit torch and a ledge on the Pambros area. Once again, an up-down vault is needed here, and if done right, you'll actually really just barely make it. The hilariously named Great Wall of Lunch has you jumping upwards across the river of lava. You'll have to cap triple to do it properly, and you can also wall jump once. Headlight Hop 2.0 is the follow-up to Headlight Hop, and has you traveling a lot farther towards the Odyssey. Here, jumping off the corner perfectly is really the only way to make it. Pan Evader is a cap triple jump that has you crossing the lava lake to the stake in the ground. To do this properly, you'll have to clear the Pan Bros and cheese in the area. The lava bypass jump is an extremely tight one. Positioning Mario properly is key so you can get a little extra distance on the vector. Magma Crossing is a very difficult jump across the lava towards this platform. This is very hard and you'll just barely stay out of the lava. The Vault Veggie Roll jump has you going from island to island on the lake of lava. Some people have encountered the problem of the Pababo getting in the way, so up-throwing before the final dive is key. Torch Lift is the second last jump in this kingdom, and it takes place between an island and the lava towards the unlit torch. There's nothing special here other than trying to be insanely efficient. The final trick jump in the Luncheon Kingdom is called Toad's Free Real Estate, where you have to vault from a high up cliff on Mount Volbono towards Captain Toad. Vectoring properly here will get you a lot farther. Even though the Rune Kingdom itself doesn't have much going on, there's actually 4 elite level trick jumps. The first is called Mummy Massacre, which takes place in the red sub area. I can't believe how close to the ground you actually have to get here. The second is called Mummy Masochist, which is another sub area jump. You have to use an up-down vault here. Zombie Cage once again takes place in the red sub area and has you traversing from the cage towards a block in the distance. Here you'll have to cap triple jump off the pipe and cage to make it. The final elite trick jump in the Rune Kingdom is called Dragon Ascent, where you have to get from the fence next to the Odyssey to the mouth of the stone dragon. Wall jumping is not allowed here, which makes it much more difficult. In Bowser's Kingdom, there are 10 elite level trick jumps, starting with one called Bridge Skipper, which has you doing, well, exactly that. Actually, you're skipping a bit more than the bridge, as your triple jump starts just before on the block. Shingle Climb is a vertical trick jump where you have to make it up one of the walls of the castle. Triple jumping is the best way to do this, and you're allowed to jump off the wall just once. The True Explosive Shard jump has you crossing an enormous gap. You can tell how skillful these trick jumpers are because of how close they can get to the ledges on the last part of the triple jump. True Vault Shingle Leap is a jump where you have to cross a long gap towards a rooftop. A jump like this definitely needs your frames to be perfect. The Vault Arena crossing jump has you traveling from this platform towards the green rooftop. Here you have to vault to complete this challenge. The Vault Top Cross jump is the opposite and has you jumping from the roof back to the platform. Of course, it can only be done by vaulting. Bridge Skipper 2.0 is a crazy jump across a pool of poison. Just a note, you have to jump off the flat portion of the roof for it to count, and you can wall jump. Input Spam is a vertical trick jump where you have to travel from the block towards the roof. This is hard. True Arena Crossing is a jump that starts from the pedestal and travels diagonally towards the roof. Like some other jumps in this area, it can be completed from either side. The final elite trick jump in Bowser's Kingdom is Cannon Leap, where you have to get from the cannon to the rail on the platform. To be honest, it doesn't even look like this should be possible. The very interesting Moon Kingdom has half a dozen elite trick jumps, starting with one called Vault Table Hopper. You'll have to position throw Cappy in the right spot if you want to make it from table to table. Vault Galactic Gorge, well, has you jumping across a gorge. The Galaxy Gap jump has you getting from the chapel, bypassing the rock bridge. To do this, you have to cap triple jump off the railing. The True Moon Dram is a more difficult variant of a previous trick jump where you have to jump off the Odyssey's headlight towards the shop. Wow. In the Kingdom's sub-area, there's a very difficult jump called Wiggler's Domain. Here you have to start on the platform and get far away from the ledge, and it doesn't matter if Mario is a bit off balance when he lands. The last elite trick jump in the Moon Kingdom is called Pillar Plunge, which also takes place in the sub-area across a gap back towards the Spark Pylon. The only rule here is that you have to vault. On the dark side of the moon, there's a trick jump called Orbital Gap. Instead of going to the main area, you have to try to make it all the way to the Spring Flower. Just watch. The final kingdom in this video is the darker side of the moon, and has two elite trick jumps. The first is called Block Stairway, which takes place roughly halfway through a long journey's end. The final trick jump in this video is called Little Purple Boy, which takes place across the lava fork section in the long journey's end. I wonder if anyone's actually stuck this landing. Alright, so that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. I really hope you did enjoy this one. If you did, please leave a like, comment below what you thought about it, and of course, subscribe to my channel. Have a good day, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.